All right, here's another video in the look back on favorite video games. Ogre Battle 64 was an interesting game in general. Ogre Battle is one of my favorite series. I don't know why. Like when I show it to certain people, they're kind of like, "This is cool, but I don't think I would enjoy this." Like that's people's response to it. I mean, there's a reason it's not around anymore, but Ogre Battle 64 came out very late in the N64's lifespan. Not enough people really played it. Like it was the last in a main console version of the series. There were a couple of handheld versions come out after that, but this was the last one, and it was also the second one. But whatever. So replaying it, it's definitely a more accessible version of the Super NES game, which is again one of my favorite games of all time. It's definitely more accessible. Getting higher level units in their right classes is way easier I'll say it's way easier when it comes to like really low alignment, really high alignment units. It's still easier when it comes to like middle alignment. There's tricks that you can use to get your characters to have the right alignment. I think the game is flawed when it comes to certain mechanics when it comes to alignment, but you can game the system, if you will. The maps are way smaller. The terrain doesn't have nearly as much to do. It's just an easier game, and I think getting some of the items to make the better characters are probably a little bit easier too when it comes to most all of the characters. It's not a like some of the things you had to do in the original Ogre Battle to get the best ending were like a little fetch quest ridiculous when it came to like, oh, you gotta grab this thing and this thing, all these things, and then go here, and then go to the Sky Island, and then go to the Chaos thing. And Ogre Battle 64, not quite that when it comes to its collection. But there was definitely a point, I want to say about a third to halfway through the game where, well, there was a point later on in the game, maybe 2/3 of the way through the game, that my units were so good that I wasn't really worried about anything. I could just like throw them at things and everything would be fine. The game in general, once you set the table for yourself when it comes to getting your units, it's really easy. Like this run through, I got units I'd never gotten before, and that I got the special Dragoon, and I got the special Princess, and I got some Dark Alignment units that kicked ass. I got Liches, like I don't know why I had any sort of issue getting special characters in an earlier run through this game. Like it's definitely easy. So that's kind of the sad thing about it, is that it was made easier, it was made more accessible, but it still didn't do well. Like that sucks. I'm glad that you can find it on the virtual console just because it's such a rare game, but yeah, it's still such a weird thing to look back on. Like they're not going to make a video game like this ever again. They're just not.